Hello, hello, it's your girl Grace Love, and welcome back to another episode of My Safe Place. So, warning, this is definitely going to be like a relationship, just meeting, dating type of episode. So, if this isn't you, you're not ready to hear this, I understand. Catch me on another episode or go re listen to one of your favorites, right? All right, so let's get into this. So, I've been actually going back and forth pondering the idea of coming out with some mini series, right? Stay with me because I promise you, I have had one of the most interesting love life dating history or lack thereof. Like when I tell people they don't know whether to laugh, cry, do both or hit like and subscribe to my dating chronicles, right? So, hit me up, let me know if you want to hear some interesting stories along with some do's and don'ts and lessons that I've definitely learned, right? Because, I'm a firm believer, each one teach one. And maybe if you hear some of the crazy stuff that I've gone through or that I've done or put people through, you'll know not to do that. All right, cool. So let me know. Another thing. Um, So, gonna be honest, transparency, right? We listen and don't judge, I hope. Anyway, so I'm on this dating app, and something that I have learned, and I be talking to my best friend and other close homegirls, is what is with people hitting you with letters? And I know y'all know it. Say it with me. Y, WID, WIA. WASUP. Like it be so short and ain't oh my gosh, I'm about to say ain't in most country is a voice. But anyway, ain't nothing more aggravating and confusing than to read this beautiful constructed bio, which now you're like, they definitely asked Gemini or another AI to write this because yes, ladies and gentlemen, you can get your profile or prompt or whatever written by AI on here. Yeah, and they hit you up with barely any conversation. They don't know how to say anything more than, and, uh, what's up? How are you? They will good morning you to death. They will what you're doing you to death. I'm just being honest, right? And I know I'm not the only one that has been through this or is currently going through this. You get about anywhere from 5 to 20 hits of people who like you. Out of that, you might, if you got 20, you might have 10 that actually hit the wave button or interesting button. Out of that 10, you might prayerfully get at least five that actually go beyond the wave, the notification. But out of that five, let me know how many people actually hold a conversation. And then, ladies and gentlemen, here comes the creepy part. There is always at least one person who comes out the gate just a little bit too strong. And by a little bit, I am definitely understating. Like the person that sends you unsolicited um, naked photo, the person that immediately wants to hang out right then and there, who wants to come to your house, the person who wants you to take a out of state trip, the person who immediately starts suggesting or saying how they would love to devour you, if you catch my drift. Um, just out the gate, like, yo, I want to drink your bath water, basically, kind of person. And for some people who are like, oh, well, it's because of what you posted. Wrongo. There is nothing seductive. There is no skin. There is no um, showing of the thighs. There is no sticking the tongue out. There is no looking at the camera, all seductive. And please realize, I know guys go through this. Like, the guys that are like, man, there's some weirdos on here. I got people, over here trying to drink my bath water, per se. And that's the first thing they say, like, hey, yo, what that mouth do, what that tongue do, da 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 da. And I was like, yeah. Same. I've had some people come out the gate and get mad at me and be like, "Oh, that's what you get," and I'll be like, "You know what? On my profile, it says looking for a relationship that turns into an actual partnership, not just a cute wedding. Why are you talking to me?" And then, furthermore, because me and my best friend be talking about this every day, I'm like, "How does all these apps match you with somebody that doesn't actually match with you?" And they'll be like, "Oh, has at least five same interests." And it'll be like, "Oh, what are your hobbies?" So you'll match with like the hobbies. They may or may not be in the height range or the location. But as far as personalities, they don't match. You'll get matched with someone when you're a person that's looking for a life partner with somebody that wants to keep it casual. And I'm sure there are people who are like, "Oh, they didn't actually pay attention to their profile." Why are you on here if you're not going to complete the profile? And I don't know about y'all, but I've never been able to not complete my profile with it being published. Like I don't understand. Or why are we on here coming up with nicknames? Like why are we treating it like it's MySpace and it's 2006 and it's just crazy. We come with all kind of nicknames and stuff, and then when you do start talking to this person over the phone and they text you, you're like, "Who's this?" Like you don't know who this is? No, no, I don't. You didn't announce yourself. You just sent a text message. "Hey, sexy. Hey, gorgeous. Thank you. Can you please tell me who this is? Because I don't have this number saved in the phone." And yes, I've had people damn near cuss me out. I know some people like, "That's what you get for giving me your phone number so fast." Let's not even talk about how the app be, what do you call it, doing you dirty with not giving you notifications. Like, y'all just went online. Look, I've had to be like, "Yo, I'm so sorry. I work overnight. I do sleep." Or, "Yo, I sat on this app for 2 hours, didn't see anything. I'm just getting a notification like 8 hours later." Like, what the heck? It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. But furthermore, the real thing that's gotten me lately is this entitlement to someone's affection, mind, and body. The idea that if a person is at a certain level of physical attraction, that it's just, "Ooh, I gotta have it, I gotta have it, give me. You should give me whatever I want without question and then some because I gave you a compliment." It's the most ickiest feeling ever. "Oh, I want to do this, that, and the third. I want to have a specific da. Off rip. And it's crazy. And I know I have said this before, at least once in another episode. And I've definitely said this on my page if you follow me on social media. But there is something off putting, creepy, and downright dangerous about a person that feels entitled to your body, mind, heart, soul off the first glimpse of you. It's something dangerous about a person that is so enamored, obsessed, and or infatuated with you because of whatever about you turns them on, that they feel like if they have the balls and gumption to speak to you, that you should just go ahead and give consent without knowing them, knowing who they are, what they're about, their character, nothing. I ain't even talking about doing a background check because I know some people that get the first last name or they get the phone number and they run background checks. I got homegirls that will run your name in every database. Don't do it to yourself, okay? Okay. But there is something crazy about it. And at first, I just thought it was us ladies going through this, guys feeling, not just guys, like people feeling entitled to whatever. And then I started talking to some guys, and they were like, "Nah, there's some of y'all chicks out here that are just as bad, if not worse." And I was like, "Ugh." I was like, "What? This is weird." And the age of society we are in, at this big old age that society is in, with all the information of do's and don'ts, what's consent and how consent can be taken back at any point in time, and it's a person's right to choose and to change their mind, and that, open your mouth, say something. If you see something, say something. If something makes you uncomfortable, go ahead and remove yourself, and make your boundaries and present them and stand strong on them, even if nobody else supports you. There's something very contradictory when it comes to dating. And I know I have older parents. My parents used the term courting, all right? Forget dating, courting, meaning that the guy went to go pick up the girl from her parents' house. He parked the car. He walked to the door. He rang or knocked on the doorbell. He probably had anywhere from at least a flower to flowers for the young lady. Uh, Flowers for the mother or the matriarch of the house, possibly a beer, a case, or a bottle for the father or the male figure of the house. He sat down, he met everybody, the mom, the dad, the grandma, the auntie, the grandpa, the little brother, sister, the cat, the dog, and the pet fish. The inside dog and the outside dog, just in case you lived in the country, and he waited for you. It wasn't that you weren't dressed. It wasn't that you weren't ready. You literally had one of your family members, probably female, that went into your room and said, take your time. Mom and dad are talking to him or whatever. Or then they finally came up and said, it's like, yeah, okay. We checked him out. We know who he is, whose people are he is. He comes from good stock, per se. You can go ahead and go out. And then you came downstairs or around the corner and behold, he got to behold the beauty that is you. Your family gave the do's and don'ts, the curfew, or even if they didn't necessarily have a curfew, depending on how old you were, you're over 18, they would be like, oh, okay, so where are y'all going? Because they got information of, okay, what's your name? Who are you? Okay, they checked out what the car looked like. They checked it like, oh, okay, you going to Sonny's right now, then y'all going to the movie theater that's supposed to show a movie at 9 o'clock. You going to the movie theater over west. Okay. They got all that information. So when you think you be back by, all right, cool. And at least one person stayed up to greet you. And it was like that for hundreds of years, right? Dude, I know in some cultures, religious practices, you don't even go on a date by yourself. You have a chaperone. And I'm not gonna lie, like I know my dad's in heaven laughing. I remember being like, that is too much. That's too strict. But I also realized the people that carried on those practices and traditions, they did not worry about kidnapping and abduction. And even when, God forbid, something happened, they were able to give such great details because of what I said. Think about it. The person got out the car. They you saw had a whole conversation. You saw what they had on. You got their first and last name. And even if they lied, you had an idea of what they look like, a description of who they are, where they were going, and stuff like that. You feel me? So I feel like as we've gotten away from the tradition of courting and not just, picking who you want to be with, there's a lot of dangers that came up. And I know people are like, really great stuff. Yes, really. Like, I can't believe it. I'm saying it. But also the dating, the aspect of dating. Like, I wasn't, well, I'm a 80s, 90s baby, right? And I even remember like the whole idea of a promise ring. I mean, I promise to love you and be honest and be true. And I love you so much that I feel like you're the one for me, and we're gonna get married, right? This is the ring before the engagement ring. Or wearing, their Letterman jacket or their hoodie or their hat, something that everybody knew belonged to them. Got his name right there on the left or right side, whichever side your school put it on. I wore his class ring, kind of thing. Shoot, even with military, we do that, right? Or wearing their chain, whatever the case may be. Or their pins. We're going steady. Everybody knew who you were with, and it was weird to date somebody that no one knew you were with. It was very off putting. It was seen as a huge taboo. And at first, I was like, why y'all got everybody in their business? And now I'm like, with all these abductions, with all these serial killers, with all these sexual assault. I see why my parents were as strict as they were. And it's not even strict, they were caring. They were doing everything they knew to do to keep me safe, as they were taught to do. They knew who I was dating. First of all, I didn't even date till I was like, I didn't really date till I was 18, 19. And they knew who he was, what school he went, what his first and last name was, who his family was like. The date, shoot. I didn't even have friends come over until my dad had a conversation with their parents to see if their morals, principles were the same. And at first, ooh, I couldn't stand when Leroy would do that. I'd be like, "Oh, you know, fun. You're lying, gang out. You won't let me have any friends." And then as I got older and I have kids, I'm like, "Oh, I see why." I remember the first time my kids wanted to go hang out with somebody, and I was like, "Okay, well, where are they at? All right, have they talked to their parents? Okay, well, let's meet. Hey, how are you? Okay, yeah, they want to have a play date." And we would organize it. And I know as they got older, my kids would still be like, "Oh, I gotta go talk to my mom. Let me ask my mom and see what's going on." And I would be like, "Okay, well, let's have a conversation. Has he or she talked to her parents?" And I remember like a few years ago, my daughter did that. And they were like, "Oh, yeah, my mom doesn't care." And I immediately was like, "Excuse you? What do you mean your mom doesn't care?" And I was like, "Oh, okay, well, I understand, but have your mom call me." And I remember the woman thought I was playing. She thought that the girls were playing. I was like, "Nah, I just want to know, like, it's a safety thing." And I remember being like, "So you don't know who your child is hanging out with? You don't know where they're going? You don't have an idea? Like, are you going to be home? When are you gonna be home? Like what how are they getting to and from these activities? Who's this person who's supposed to be taking you?" And my kids, both my son and my daughter know I don't play that. They're 17 and they still know to be like, "Hey mom, on this day from this time to this time, I want to go here. That's gonna cost this amount of money." They know to give me enough, heads up to give them the money or whatever, or they've already earned the money to go do it. They know that the house, their room, their responsibilities have to be done before leaving. They know to let me know when they get there. They know I'm watching them on Life 360. They know to like, keep me updated. They don't play that. My daughter has been like, "Hey, yo, I got a text. Give me your phone. My phone died. I gotta let my know my mom's okay." My son let me know even going up the street. He'd be like, "Mom, I'm walking out to go get some chips." With his phone on. He come back in the house. "Hey, mom, I want you to let you know I'm back in safe." My son look like a grown man. So just things like that. Like it's so interesting as the times have changed. With going out with just friends, let alone dating. I know I go out, there's at least three people watching my location, making sure I'm straight. Hey, this is who he is, this is where I'm meeting him at. Um, this is the idea what I got going on. Or either I'll be like, "Hey, yeah, me and my friends are hanging out. How about you and your friends come out so people can get an idea of what's going on?" And I have definitely learned to not only create my boundaries, but stand on my boundaries and not feel bad about it. Like, "Oh, you're a prude. Oh, you're a No, dear heart. Like, just because I agree to hang out with you, go on a date, just because I find you attractive and you find me attractive doesn't mean that I'm automatically, sworn in and obligated to this contract that I'm talking to you and that we're dating and I'm gonna give you whatever you want. You do not automatically get granted and approved complete access to my mind, heart, body, and soul. That is not how that works. If you start giving up red flags and start being weird and I start feeling uncomfortable, I absolutely am going to end this right here and right now. And oof, like I said, like it was the message that got me. I was like, "Ooh, pause. Hello. What you're saying is way too early for what you were asking for, and I am no longer comfortable with this." And I am definitely proud of myself, absolutely, for even getting to that point. Because before, you would just see it on my face, and you see how my body would get. And I got a homeboy that be like, "Hey, yo, when Grace do that skip kick dance, you got two times for her to, skip kick back, and then that's it. She gonna lean forward." I was like, "I really do that." They were like, "Yeah, that's you. We know when you're uncomfortable." And I would be like, "Oh, that's enough." And then I got to a point where I would literally be like, "Hey, let's keep this distance between us. And if we vibe and we connect, okay, cool. And I'll let you know. But if I'm uncomfortable, cool. But I also had to realize, hey, guys, it's okay for y'all to admit when y'all uncomfortable. Some of us women are way too much. We are way too aggressive. We just have this idea that you're automatically down for anything. And that's not the case. You're allowed to have boundaries too. You're allowed to be like, whoa, that's too fast. Hey, I don't want to go there. Hey, I'm not really comfortable with this. Hey, I want to take my time. Like, hey, I might have said, ABC before, but I have changed my mind. Or, hey, the situation has changed. And I have definitely recognized that. I've been like, yo, the tables have definitely turned in some areas. Like some of us women, whoa, we need to turn it down a notch, ladies. We got these guys out here for their life over here trying to hold their goodies. See it. I've been the friend, the sister, or whatever that had to be like, hey, yo, he said no. He said no, thank you. He just asked you to back up. Back up. And I know if someone's like, why? Because what you not going to do is make him uncomfortable and get him to the point where he reacts in a physical way. And then you want to play the victim and act like he assaulted you or he hit you or whatever. Nah, that's why I'm there. I am a little sister. Don't play with me. I'm even an older sister as far as like, sister friend. Don't play with me. That's why I'm here. If you don't back up, just the same way if a guy was doing too much, was too close, made me feel uncomfortable and didn't understand the word no, somebody gonna step in and be like, hey yo, you didn't hear her? Back up. So I definitely want to talk about boundaries from here on out. Dating do's and don'ts, how to stay safe. Definitely teach your kids to be safe. And even if you're not interested in dating, if you're just hanging out, networking, and friends, definitely keep yourself guarded. Definitely keep yourself safe. Let's talk about some do's and don'ts. Maybe let's have I definitely want to have a guest or two about some do's and don'ts and why and the differences and how we can make dating and hanging out and courting. Let's bring back courting, okay? Let's bring that back and keep it. All right. But wish me luck, yo. Maybe I'll find my Prince Charming at last, huh? Good night.